Welcome back, everybody, to Old School Sports with Mike and the Hammer, and we have another great show for you today. We're talking Yannis to the Heat. Sorry, Celtics fans. NBA draft, Red Sox, the lows and the highs, mostly lows, Driveline founder, the World Cup, and most importantly of all, the Scottish invasion.
Ooh.
But Hammer, Yannis. Everybody's talking. I mean, when that first came out, I was thinking, I don't want Yannis. He's too old and everything. But the more, and they just kept beating it down our throats here. And I was thinking, yeah, I kind of liked it after a while. I mean, no more threes. He's going to hoop, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you wake up and I got a text from you and he goes to Miami. What's your reaction?
Well, first of all, I think Milwaukee was out of their minds what they wanted to fleece the Celtics for. It was nuts. I mean, the Celtics were going to give Jaylen Brown and 2 number ones, and that wasn't good enough. And to me, I'm like,
that was it right there. It stopped right there.
Yeah, that's what the Celtics offered.
Yeah.
But Milwaukee's counteroffer was Jaylen Brown, 2 number ones, Hugo Gonzalez, Baylor Shireman, plus more players and pick swaps. It's like, what are we just going to ask for everything?
Yeah.
I mean, Yannis is 31 years old. He's been injured the last year or so. And I don't think there's much of a difference between Brown and the Greek, freak there.
Yeah.
Not for that crazy package. So good luck to Miami. You can have them.
You know, the old saying is sometimes the deals you don't make are the best. You know, and there's a prime example right there. You're going to sell your soul for this guy? I mean, Brown's a top 15 player anyway. Giannis is, okay, maybe a top 5. But Brown is way up there. And you're going to give a couple of picks and a couple of good prospects, Shireman and Ugo. I don't think so. That's way too much.
And who's had a better last few years? Jaylen Brown's had better years than, I mean, Giannis won the championship, 4 or 5 years ago. But, I mean, Brown was a runner-up to the MVP this year. He carried the Celtics to second in the conference and, 56 wins. So, I mean, and he's 29 years old. I mean, one player's ascending and the other one's descending.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's like, they're looking in the mirror and they're thinking that, oh, well, yeah, this guy's still good, as good as he used to be. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And actually, what Milwaukee gave it was crazy. I mean, not Milwaukee, Miami. Miami gives up 4 players, Hero being the name player. There was a couple of other guys. And did they give up, was it 3 ones?
It was 3-1. So Milwaukee sent Giannis and Bobby Porter for Tyler Hero, 3 other guys, the 13th pick in the draft tonight, 2 other unprotected ones, and a second-round pick and a pick swap. I mean, they got a haul, but you know what? I think the Celtics deal was better. If I'm Milwaukee, I'm taking Jaylen Brown and the 2 number ones.
Yes.
And I'm calling it a day.
I wouldn't want to give up 2 number ones. I think a fair thing. First off, it's almost a swap to swap. I mean, really, if you look at the skill level and the age level, I would say, okay, give him 1. Give him 1 number 1. But you say they were willing to give 2.
They were. They offered 2. Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, look what they got back in return. Tyler Hero is not Jaylen Brown.
No.
So right there, if Jaylen Brown's a quarter, Tyler Hero's a dime.
Yeah.
And then you get like a bunch of other nickels, 3 other nickels.
Yeah.
So it ends up being 25 cents to 20. It's what my Weymouth math.
Whoa, you're rolling now, man.
Well, I just think it's a dumb trade for. I can't believe Milwaukee got as much as they did.
Yeah.
I really can't.
They were playing the Celts,
Yeah, the Celtics are chumps.
Yeah.
I mean, Giannis wanted to go to Miami. He said, that's where I want to go. Yeah. And I think this deal's been in place for a long time. And the Celtics were just in it as like driving up the price, basically.
Yeah.
And in turn, what did you do? You pissed off Jaylen Brown now. He's going to want to get traded. Why are you trading my ass when Tatum is the one that should go? I showed last year that I can win without Tatum. I don't think Tatum can win without me. That's what I'd be saying if I was Jaylen Brown.
You're segueing into my next question. So how do they pacify Brown?
Well, he could have, right now he's making how much? How many million a year?
He's making 58 and Tatum's making 57. But
here's the thing. He's up right now. His contract, you could sign him for 2 additional years for some huge cake.
Oh, yeah.
So you could pick up an extension for Jaylen Brown, and then he'd be making more money than Tatum, and then he might be happy again.
Yeah, the latest contract's always the highest. And they're talking about it could be for 140, 50 million, so like 70 million per. It's just insane, you know.
It really is. I mean, how much money do you really need? How many steaks do you need, Mike?
That's right. How many can you eat, Tom?
But the thing is, what you're doing is you're killing the fans. I mean, these tickets are outrageous now to go to a game and the concessions and everything like that.
Yeah.
You're pricing out, and they don't really care about the fans. Obviously, they never have.
Right.
But all they care about is TV revenue. So whether or not people show up at the game, they don't care.
Yeah. Well, I think they do. It's just a tad. Maybe not the concessions because the Bruins own the place.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Celtics don't care about the concessions.
So what do they do going forward? I know they need some guard help. They're talking about bringing Anthony Simons back, maybe Fred Van Fleet, Trey Murphy, Malik Monk, or this guy Cameron Johnson. There's a lot of names out there, but they need some shooting help, obviously.
They do, but I'm hearing Robert Williams. Remember him, the Time Lord?
Robert Williams, yeah.
They want an inside presence.
And why did they call him that?
Because he's always late.
He was late for his first press conference.
Yes. So he read the Mickey Mouse fingers wrong, the hands wrong.
I loved his play, especially in the defensive end, but he can't stay on the court. So what good is he?
He's no good because you know what? He'd stand there like I'm wide open, and then Tatum will launch a three.
Yeah. What would Bill Parcells say about him? Parcells is I don't want to talk about players that aren't on the field.
Right. He actually had a decent year this year for Portland. He played like 50-something games.
Wow.
But the year the Celtics traded him to Portland, he played late six games and then 20 games.
Yeah.
So he finally, played a decent amount this year. And coincidentally, he's a free agent, and here it is.
Yeah. Well,
so
he's a player, but not
Yeah.
really. If you can't be on the court, what good are you, right?
exactly.
You want to talk about the draft a little bit?
Yeah, let's go. Tonight, big night. Tonight's Tuesday. We got the big draft.
Yep. The order of all the professional people that pick these things say it's A.J. DeBanza, who's from Brockton, by the way. He's going number 1, and Darren Peterson's going 2, and Cameron Booz is going 3. If I was picking, I would say Booz is the most NBA ready. What do you think?
Well, what about Caleb Wilson?
Oh yeah,
He's from UNC, and that's a basketball school.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he should be the first overall, but I'm just saying he should be in the mix.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I would go with. This year Cooper Flagg, who's 19 years old, and you're like, oh, you can't draft a guy that young. And they did, and
Yeah.
he got 21 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists in 34 minutes a game. So if you took the guy from Brockton, DeBanza, I mean, I know he's real young. He has a long, his ceiling is out of control. But yeah, I mean, you can't really go against a Duke guy in my eyes.
Because they're it's kind of like a pro factory right there. That's their minor league factory.
Yeah.
They build them up, and the fundamentals are sound. And so I think he's the most NBA ready, but he's not as flashy. DeBanza is like a highlight reel. He's kind of reminds me of he's like 6'10", 6'11", Dominique Wilkins. He's got all these highlights, dunks, and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know him past that.
But here's the thing, though. His BYU team got bounced out in the first round of the tournament. And you might think what's the big deal, but you know what? That says a lot. I mean, Larry Bird, right? He took a Indiana State team, undefeated all the way through until the championship game against Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
And, in the first round, BYU was a huge favorite, and they lost. So it's kind of like, can he carry a team? Can he make players around him better? That'd be a red flag for me.
Right.
But
I think his shooting suspect. He's just a highlight reel because of his dunks, and he's a super athlete.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So Washington's got the first pick, and then Utah, Memphis, and Chicago.
Yeah.
And the Celtics don't go to 27th. So unless they make a move and move up, I mean, what do you think is going to be left at that point?
Well, I read a few articles. This kid Isaiah Evans from Duke. He's a forward guard, but he's known as a pure shooter.
Yeah.
And I guess the Celtics, with all those, they're clanging all those threes, they need another shooter. And also what they need, because now you have, if they don't move Brown, you got Brown and Tatum. Neither one of you want them bringing the ball up. This guy would bring the ball up.
Yes.
Because thinking about Pritchard, but Pritchard's more of a shooting playmaker. But if I was bringing the ball up, this guy would probably be ideal.
Well, that's what I want. Someone that. But here's the thing: he can bring the ball up, but they're going to give him the ball to bring up.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's only one ball, right? Everybody.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like I'm just telling you, if you're going to trade a guy, Tatum's got to go.
They're
You're trying to trade the wrong guy in Brown.
They're not going to trade Tatum.
I know they're not. And you know what's going to happen?
You know why?
You're not going to win any more championships because you traded the wrong guy.
You know why? It's all analytics. It's just, he has a better point per game, better rebound per game, better assist per game, way better free throw percentage. So in that aspect, he's a better player. But as far as clutch, you'd have to say it's Jaylen Brown.
So I'll just throw this question at you right now.
Yeah.
Last year, suppose Jaylen Brown was out with an Achilles and Tatum had the Celtics the way they're constituted last year.
Yeah.
Do they win 56 games and have the second best record in the conference?
That's a good question. I mean, nobody's can answer that, but you would hope he would be able to. But I mean, he wouldn't have any competition. It'd be all him, just like it was all Brown. You would hope he would, but who knows?
I doubt it. He doesn't have the same guts. He doesn't have the same drive. He's not the one that was calling players out, on certain nights saying, we got to do better, this and that.
Yeah.
Tatum's too passive.
Yeah.
So the team would have been flatlined. They would have finished 40-40 like you were talking before the season. That's what they would have done.
I did say, I remember the show we did, and I said, they're 8-8 at this point. And I said, and that's who they are. They're an 8-8 team.
Yeah, with Tatum, they would have been that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm telling you.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. Well, this year, if Brown gets traded, then we're going to know.
Then we're going to know, right? But I don't think they're going to trade Brown now. I think they get, and you say, well, you're pissing a player off. You got him on the trading block, but it's not the same. This is not your grandfather's Buick anymore. This is big business, and these players are corporations within corporation. And it's all business. Yeah, I mean, it's a sport, but it's business. It's business on both sides, on management and it's
You're
respect.
not getting the respect.
Oh, respect.
Here's the thing, Mike. All right, Jaylen Brown. This is the way he looks at it. Okay.
Go ahead.
How about this? You're dating this woman for 8 years. Okay.
Okay.
This guy from Australia comes in. This 6'6" blonde guy sweeps her off her feet. They're gonna walk down the aisle, right?
Yep.
Kind of like, how Jaylen almost got traded to Milwaukee last night.
Yeah.
But when they get down the aisle, he finds someone else. He takes off with the maid of honor. Now, she's single again, and she comes running back to you. What do? You kick her to the curb.
Yeah.
And that's what Jaylen Brown is going to do to the Celtics. He's going to kick him to the curb. He's going to demand a trade, and you're going to get pennies on the dollar for him.
But he says all the right things. He loves Boston. And he wants to stay in Boston. So what do you say to that?
If you're disrespected by the ownership, right?
Why is he disrespected?
Because they tried to trade him.
Right, but it's a business.
He just had the best year of his career.
It's a business first and foremost. Wow. It's a business. It's a business on his end too. Right?
Where is
the loyalty?
There's no loyalty.
There is no loyalty anymore on both sides. On both sides, it's all money. Everything's money, 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 and they all understand that.
All right, I would just be shocked if he's here next year.
I won't. I'll be shocked if he leaves now.
Sounds like we're betting another breakfast on that one.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it won't be at Joe's. They're closing.
Damn. I know the best breakfast here in Hanover is going to be gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Joe's Coffee Shop, after 40-something years, closing this Friday.
Yeah.
I am very upset.
Yeah, you should be.
So, all right, let's move on to the more positive notes. The Red Sox.
Whoa, is that positive?
No.
31-45. They've lost they're 4-6 in the last 10 games. They get pitching, and they got young pitching. It looks, and that's kind of like, I'm optimistic about that. But they still can't hit the ball.
No, I mean, they got swept by Toronto. They went to Seattle and won 2 out of 3, which was shocking. And then last night, typical Red Sox, finally, they're up 2-0, bottom of the 9th against the worst team in baseball, the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
And their best pitcher, Chapman, who's got an ERA of under 1, has been automatic all year, gives up 3 base runners. And then they hit a base hit to right, and somehow, some way, your favorite player decides to kick the ball around in left field.
Yeah.
3-run score, and they lose 3-2.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's pretty suspect in his fielding. Yeah.
Jaron Duran, we're talking about, Mike.
Jaron Duran, yes.
And
yeah.
I sent the clip to Mike, but he said it's an ESPN clip.
Can't use
so
it.
he can't use it. So
Right.
I sent him another one. I don't know if he's going to show it or not. It's a little blurry.
Yeah.
It's a pirate. It's pirated from another network. But what it is the base hit down the right field line. The idiot takes the wrong angle, so the ball goes shooting past him, rolls to the wall. Then he hits it with his glove,
kicks it
with his
again.
foot,
Yeah.
picks it up, drops it, then he throws it like a rainbow in. At this point, it's like all these guys running around the bases like Bugs Bunny, and they scored 3 runs and they lost 3-2.
So they went into the inning up 2-0, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They are the worst. You know, that bad teams find a way to lose, and they certainly do.
They do. Absolutely.
And now your best player, Chapman,
what happened to him? But
who they're talking about trading at the deadline, he's lost interest.
well, it's just one game too. It's an aberration.
Now, he flew one last week too.
Yeah.
At Fenway, he gave up a home run in the ninth.
Oh, that's right.
So his last 2 outings, he's got hit.
Not good when you're trying to trade this player. Yeah.
And then Sonny Gray, who has a no-trade contract,
Yeah.
he said, I'm open to being traded. Everybody wants out of this sinking ship.
Yeah, because
all the rats are getting out.
When's the last time you heard a play saying that has a no trade in his contract say I'm open to a trade if it's
I'll go anywhere. Get me out of here.
It's basically he's saying if it'll help you out, but no, it's to help him out.
Absolutely, no, it's a toxic situation at Fenway nowadays.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
They got to get some hitters. They have I'm bullish on their pitchers too, especially their young pitchers. So
see, they've had hitters, but they've ruined their hitters.
Yeah.
Think about it. All these guys, from college and other teams, they work their way up to Fenway. And then the Red Sox have this ridiculous philosophy on hitting. Kyle Brody, who actually just resigned, which is good. He invented this drive line way of hitting.
Analytics.
Yeah, analytics. But here's a guy, right? He's a college dropout, right? He was like an Uber driver or something, right?
All right.
And then he invented how to hit a baseball. And all these owners in baseball somehow bought what he was selling. He should have been a salesman.
Yeah.
So now, think about it. They had Christian Campbell, who had a great swing in the minor leagues. And then the Red Sox ruined him. Now he's in the minor leagues. Think about Marcelo Maya. He's turned into crap because everything's launch angle, okay? It's not hit line drives. It's not bunt. It's not like, 2 strikes choke up like the day when we used to play.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's swing from your ass every swing and try to hit a home run when you don't have the talent to hit home runs.
When I was on my Little League team, if we didn't, we had 2 strikes on us, if we didn't choke up, we were out of the game the next inning.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you know? Didn't you? It's 2 strikes. What do you do? Oh, I choke up. Well, why didn't you?
Put the ball in play.
Put the
and
ball
that's
in play.
why the Red Sox are so bad offensively because you know what? They don't hit home runs, which is okay. Remember the Kansas City Royals back in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah.
They would go to World Series and stuff, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Because you play small ball. Guy on first, hit it to the right side. Now you get first and third. It's for single.
Right.
Guy on second, hit a sacrifice fly, move in the third. Squeeze plays, anything. Red Sox don't do any of that.
No.
They have like 3 bunts all season or 3 sacrifices. So they don't play small ball. They can't hit home runs. Thus, they can't score runs.
So this guy you talk about, he was Craig Breslow's assistant, right?
Yes.
And he was all about analytics. Explain what he actually did about it.
It's a data metrics thing, okay? It's bat speed and launch angles, okay?
Okay.
So they let them get weighted bats or light bats. And then they videotape everything and they just watch a guy swing.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, yeah, you've been a great hitter in the minor leagues by swinging level and hitting line drives, but we want you to swing upwards so you'll get more of a launch angle and maybe hit home runs.
Right.
Problem is, people are like swinging through the ball. You cannot change somebody's swing when there's been a certain way their whole life.
Right.
That's what got them to the major leagues. That's what got them to the minor leagues and drafted out of college. And you're changing the way they hit a baseball that they learned from when they were 6 years old. And that's why the Red Sox are ruining all these hitters. They get the least amount of home runs. They got like one of the worst batting averages for a team in baseball. They can't do anything. And the problem is, Caleb Durbin, who they traded from Milwaukee last year, and who had a pretty good year in Milwaukee, came over here. He's been batting 150, 160 all year. 3 weeks ago, he said, screw this philosophy. He hired his own hitting coach. Hit a home run a couple nights ago. He brought his average up from 169 to 221. 52 points, his average has gone up in 3 weeks because he's not listening to these freaking clowns anymore. He's got his own guy telling him how to hit.
Yeah, to go to 221, you say, 221 is still lousy, but that's a big rise in a week and a half.
Yes,
or 2 weeks,
I'm sure he's on a pace for maybe like a 270 hitter this year, which is acceptable.
Now, this guy you're talking about, could he be the guy? Do you remember when Jim Rice was giving advice to a hitter? It was in spring training, and one of the guys came up to him. One of these analytics guys said, we don't teach our players this.
Exactly.
And his Jim Rice, I think Jim Rice is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Red Sox Hall of Famer, and
Yes.
yeah, I mean, very well respected. I mean, he was the best hitter in baseball for like a 5-year span there back in the late '70s, early '80s, and he actually had the gall to say to Rice, "We don't teach our players that."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of these guys.
And the thing
What
is-
could have been this guy particularly?
Well,
I
it
don't
was
know.
either him or one of his minions.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and the thing is, it's Rice. He goes to camp to help these young players.
Yeah.
And one of they're saying it was Roman Anthony
Oh.
who said, "Jim, can you help me with a swing here?"
Yeah,
You know, because
yeah.
Roman Anthony's a power hitter, and so is Jim Rice. And Rice is telling him different things, and then some little puke that doesn't even know who Jim Rice is tells them we don't teach it that way.
We do launch angle.
Yeah, launch angle.
Yeah.
Jim Rice's launch angle was swing as hard as you can and hit it 500
Hit,
feet.
and hit line drives.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to line drives?
They don't do that anymore. At least this team
that's
doesn't.
not valued anymore. Right?
Yeah. So hopefully with this guy Kyle Brody gone,
Yeah.
hopefully the rest of his guys are out next year, because you know what? You got a clean house. If you get rid of Breslow, who's the general manager,
Yeah.
you clear everybody out. You bring in a bunch of real baseball guys. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. Baseball's been around since the 1800s, and these clowns think that they've discovered something no one else has. And what they've discovered is how to ruin a bunch of players and put a franchise like the Red Sox in the toilet.
When does Breslow get the axe? Is it this year?
It is this year, yeah. It's going to
Is
be
it
after
coming
the
soon?
trade deadline. Red Sox, the last 2 times they fired general managers were in September.
Okay.
So I would say he should pay his last month's rent in August, and then just lease by the day going into September, because he probably won't make it past the 15th.
Wouldn't that be awesome if Theo came back? I don't think he's going to. He has bigger aspirations. They say he might be looking at the commissioner's job coming up next
Yeah.
year. But Theo Epstein. He's a consultant now for the Red Sox. But so he might not come back per se, but he might have an influence on who they get next. That's what they're saying.
Well, the problem is this Craig Breslow. I mean, Theo gave the thumbs up to him.
Yeah, initially,
So,
yeah, but
initially, but now he's kind of turned on him a little, saying that I didn't know he'd be so crazy with the analytics.
yeah, and he talks like he's an educated guy. He went to Yale, and they say he's very intelligent and most intelligent man in the room and all that. But I don't know. He
has
doesn't.
no people skills.
And he has no feel for the game. It's like
doesn't.
he goes by analytics, and he doesn't have that gut feeling. You know.
It's hard to believe this guy was even a player.
Yeah, he was a good player. It was actually,
He's a decent pitcher,
Yeah,
but
pitcher,
it's
yeah.
hard to believe he was even a player.
yeah.
Because the way he looks at the game is like,
Yeah.
it's like a nerd looking at the game.
Yeah.
Somebody that's never played it.
Yeah. It's like a video game.
Yes, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
So the last thing I got, did you see Rafael Devers over the weekend?
Yeah.
What
that
an idiot.
That was awesome. I loved
So
it.
he plays for San Francisco now. The Red Sox traded him to San Fran last year. So here's a guy who hasn't stolen a base in 2 years. He gets a walk in the 9th inning. San Fran's losing by 1 run. They bring out a pinch runner, this kid that's really fast, and he's waving him off. The umpire had to step in and say, "Get off the field. Your manager wants to put him as a pinch runner." And then when he went into the dugout, the people were trying to like give him 5-5s, and he's swinging into this thing. He wouldn't let anyone touch him, and went right into the dugout and gone into the locker room.
He's gone.
Where's he going to go? No one's going to take that ridiculous contract. It's like $300 million. The Red Sox were lucky to get rid of him.
Yeah.
They found a sucker, and San Fran's the sucker.
Yeah.
Now they're stuck with
The
him.
only problem with that trade is they got crap for him. You know, it
Yeah.
was probably a good move to get him out of there.
Well, the funny thing is, it's a trade that sucked for both teams.
yeah.
When does that ever happen?
That doesn't happen. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's all they get.
Okay.
All right. What do you think? A little hockey? Or no, a little football?
Football.
You do football.
So I was actually watching a little bit of the World Cup over the weekend. My daughter and her husband were home, and I was watching it with my son-in-law. And he gave me a little education on it. He's a sports writer for the Times, and I said, "How does this stuff work anyway?" I said, and we were watching the games, and I was saying, of course it was 0-0 for a while, and one of the games I'm like, "Will somebody just score?" I'm not even usually I find myself rooting for one team or the other. I don't care. Somebody score, please, So and then there's a yellow card. I said, "What the heck's that mean?" Well, that's if you mouth off to the ref or you do an you injure a player, blah, blah, blah. Yellow card. You get 2 yellow cards. Now you got a red card. Red card, you're out of the game.
I was right last week.
Yeah, yes,
When
you were. Yeah.
You said, "What's
yeah.
a red card?" I said, you get thrown out. And then I had to look it up, and I was right.
Yeah, you're right. And well, he verified that, right? So you're thrown out, and you miss the next game too.
Oh, wow, that's a big penalty.
I'm like, wow. I
Yeah,
said,
that's strict.
you got to watch your yellow cards. They add up.
That's right.
Yeah. But, so I'm watching the game, and I had appreciation. Maybe the draw to watching it with these purists is that it is so hard to score. That's what makes it exciting. But too many 0-0s and 1-0s, and I think there was a few goals we saw that were taken back because of offsides. And my point is, you got a sport here that needs more scoring. I think they should be more lenient on the offsides and their rules to get some scoring in. And then the Americans, maybe we'll jump on the bandwagon. We'll get some more scoring.
It's like a hockey player when Lemieux used to hang at the other blue line.
Yeah.
And get breakaways all the time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: United States is actually doing pretty good. They won their first game 4-1 against Paraguay, and then they won 2-0 against Australia. They play June 25th this week, 10 p.m. So if you're tired, you're probably not going to make it to the end of the game.
Yeah, maybe I'll tape it.
So 10 p.m. against Turkey.
Turkey,
Here's the thing about Turkey, though. It's like they played 2 games in the tournament, and they haven't scored a goal yet.
So hope they keep that streak going.
Yeah, so there you go. But Gillette Stadium, though, it's been rocking. I mean, right now we got England against Ghana today.
Yeah.
And for the hell of it, I looked up, how much is a ticket to watch England against Ghana? What do you think it is? And the 300 level, I went up section 316. 2 tickets, how much is that?
2 tickets, 600
Is that total or each?
total.
No, you're out of your mind. It's almost $2,000. For like a terrible seat in the nosebleed
Are you
section.
kidding me?
Yeah, they're like $8.98 each, not counting the fees. So
Oh
I'm
my
saying
God,
that's like $2,000.
It's like the Knicks Spurs final.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, and then the other game at Gillette's going to be Norway against France on the 26th.
Boston Stadium.
Oh, Boston Stadium.
It's
Sorry.
not the Gillette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that you had to cover up Gillette Stadium because they're not a sponsor for
Well,
FIFA.
all the stadiums had to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the home teams, they're doing great. USA, Canada, and Mexico, they're all host nations.
Yeah,
The
Mexico.
United States advanced to the next round. They're 2-0. Canada, 1 win and 1 tie, and they're plus 6 goals. They're going to advance to the next round. And Mexico's 2-0. They're going to advance.
Nice.
So isn't it wild where the teams that when you're a host country, you get an automatic bid into the tournament? And usually, if it's in some other country and your team stinks, they're losing by 10 goals a game. But all 3 teams made it. That's very impressive.
I was talking to my wife about that as far as they're getting a lot of support from the USA fans are coming out. But, we had all these European teams and Middle East teams coming over here. I mean, they're coming in droves. Yeah. And you just think it's really not that big here. So let's say they play, I don't even know where they played 4 years ago. Next 4 years, say they play in England or something. I don't know. I don't have confidence that they're gonna travel well. I don't think it's a big draw for them. For the USA fandom to go over to another country to watch them. Like these other countries have. They say England's going to have a ton of people for this game.
Yes, they are. Yeah. The thing is, though, is I want to talk about our competition for that mug we talked about last week. The old school sports.
Yeah.
Yeti.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The competition is going to end on July 4th. So you have to go on to Old School Sports Mass.
Yeah.
And Mike's going to put it up on the screen right now. And you've got to enter the winner of the tournament for the World Cup.
Yeah.
And how many goals have we scored in the last game? So that's just total goals. Like if you say France is going to win 4-3, then you say France and put 7. That's how you enter your pick, okay?
All right.
But like the big favorites in the tournament, I'm even going to, this is like, it's an open book test for everybody out there. France is like the favorite. They're 2-0 so far. Spain is another favorite. 1 win, 1 tie. England, they haven't lost yet. Argentina's 2-0. Portugal's played 1 game and tied, and Brazil's 1-0 with a tie. So those are the meat and the potatoes. Out of those teams, those are the big favorites to win the tournament. Right. So if you're doing the competition, you probably want to pick one of those teams.
Yeah, and Argentina is a team that they've scored 5 goals in the tournament, and they've all been by Messi.
Imagine that.
And Messi's 39 years old, so he's the soccer equivalent of Tom Brady.
Wow.
Imagine having this 5 goals scored in 2 games, and he's got them all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we have a question of the week, though. because you were just talking about the fans visiting Boston.
Yeah.
The Scottish fans.
Oh,
and Mike, show a
invasion.
couple pictures of this. They were putting all cones on people's heads.
Yeah.
On the statues in Boston, you know,
Red
Red
Hot,
Auerbach
yeah.
and Paul
Paul
Revere
Revere,
and
all
all
that.
that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So the question from Julie in East Bridgewater is, why did the Scottish people put cones on all the statues in Boston? Do you know the answer?
No, I don't.
It goes back to Glasgow in 1980. They put a cone on the Duke of Wellington's head. And that was the first time it was ever done. And now it's a tradition in Scotland to do that.
Oh, my God.
So people will like right now, all these Scottish fans, they all went down to Miami.
Yeah.
And they're pulling the same
And
shenanigans.
they're not playing that. No way.
Miami is not playing that game.
Yeah, the cops are actually stopping them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll give the Scottish people credit. I mean, really. They drank like it was their last day on earth. You know what I mean? They were happy drunks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it lightened up the mood in Boston. It made everybody happy partying with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the thing you have to watch out for is we should get into a kilt knitting business for minors because there's going to be a lot of babies born in 9 months from now.
Whoa.
Because those Scots were making an impact with the locals.
But they interviewed some of them. They said, yeah, they can be players, right? But they're very loyal to if they're attached, whether it's a steady girlfriend or a wife, they're very loyal and they're not into cheating and whatnot. But if you're single, I mean, everything flies, you know?
They haven't run into any American women yet.
Yeah, you gotta love the cones. And they're fascinated with the food here and the size of the portions, like a chicken palm and and the gas stations and the box stores. We have so much here. We take it all for granted. TSA, they're going through the airport. They put up this thing that said because they're big into ranch dressing.
Yeah, they don't have it there.
They don't have it there, so they're bringing it on. They're telling the TSA's telling them you got to check it with your luggage. You can't bring it on the plane. That's how popular it was, and they're just a partying, fun-loving group of people.
Yeah.
And you know what's great with all the stuff lately, with all the Trump stuff and all that, and everybody's fighting each other. And it's good now that these not only just the Scots, but a lot of the teams have embraced USA, and their thought process is is better now. They always thought it was more hate. Now they're seeing the love that we can be lovable people, Tom.
Well, that's what a lot of them have said. They said in their country there's one view of the United States that could be propaganda or just the way it's perceived. They come over here and they're like, the people are wonderful. They're throwing out the red carpet for us.
Yeah.
We're having a great time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of not what we expected.
Right.
So it's like, you know.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, one quick note. This just came down a couple minutes ago. The NFL, they were going to have a supplemental draft for that Scoresby, who we talked about a few weeks ago, who was the guy that gambled in college, got thrown out of college and won like a judge decision to be able to come back.
Right.
So he was going to go back to play college, and then he was going to get $5 million. So he said, no, I don't want to do that. I'll enter the NFL draft. And a supplemental draft is when your draft status changes after the draft. So he was eligible to be drafted by an NFL team. And the NFL today said, nope, we're not doing a draft this year. So this Brant Scoresby got screwed.
Yeah, and he lost his $5 million guarantee from his college team, right?
So it all worked out in the end. The judge muddied the waters by letting this guy back in football, even though he's been betting on his own team and betting, 9,000 bets or whatever. And injustice prevailed in the end. He will not be playing football anywhere this year except for like an arena league, maybe the Canadian Football League, but he won't be in the NFL and he won't be in the NCAA.
That was my next question. So what are his alternatives? What do you think that he's going to end up doing?
Sue the NFL. That's what I think he's going to do.
Yeah, okay. Besides that, what's he going to try to?
He's just going to have
He's going to go to Europe or something?
Yeah.
Or go to Canada maybe?
Yeah, I just said that. That's what I said.
Yeah,
That's all he's got.
Yeah.
And then he can enter the NFL draft next year.
Oh, he can?
Yes.
Oh.
It's just for this 1 year.
It's just
he
1
missed
year.
The cycle.
Oh, all right. That
So
changes.
next year he's eligible to play.
Oh, that changed everything. So he could take a year off. That's all. Yeah, and that's what he's going to do. He's just going to sue the NFL.
Right.
That's
and
enough.
the thing is, though, it's kind of like, it might be a good thing for him. Now he'll be a year away from gambling if he continues not to bet on games.
Right.
And it'll show that he is, now he's on the straight and narrow.
Right.
And it might even be better that his draft might, might go up.
Your stock.
Because of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you've proven for the last year you stayed away from gambling.
Well, you know what he's got to do, Tom, like they all have to do, whether it's beating up their wives or the alcohol and drugs, they got to go for treatment, right?
Yep, and he went for treatment.
If he's going for treatment, he'll be back.
All right.
Right. So
You know Mike's Minute?
I do. Matter of fact,
All
we're
right.
going to go back in the Wayback Machine. It's kind of a tragic sports story, really. Len Bias, 40 years ago,
Oh.
this month actually, he was drafted by the CELTS, and like 60 hours after he was drafted, he was gone. I still remember like it was yesterday. I remember I used to work nights. I was living in Florida, and I get up in the morning. My wife says, "You remember that guy we were watching that got drafted?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "He's dead." I said, "What do you mean he's dead?" "Oh, he died." I said, "You got to be kidding me."
Cocaine overdose.
Yeah, and I really believe in my heart of hearts that they say he was a clean guy. He never did it. I think that's true because he just probably got carried away. He got swept up with his friends down in Maryland. He had just signed a $1.7 million contract. It doesn't sound like much these days, but this was 40 years ago with Reebok. He had a Reebok shoe deal already signed.
Yeah.
And
He was the next big thing.
he was like I actually watched him, and he played for Maryland, and Auerbach had a connection with Leslie Drizel, and Auerbach lives in off-season. He lives in Washington, so he really had an interest in him. They called him a 6'8" Michael Jordan, and he was going to stem the tide from you got Bird and McHale and Parrish were getting long in the years there, and they won 3 championships in the '80s. The Lakers won 5. I think it easily could have been reversed. Because, you got this guy coming in, and Bird wouldn't have had to play, all of them wouldn't have had to play as many minutes. It's just sad. It took him 21 years, 2008, to get back to the finals. So it had a lasting effect on him, and it could have changed the whole dynamic of the team. And on the human side, it was just a tragedy. This young man, 22 years old, had everything to look forward to and just snuffed out by drugs. So there's a lot of what ifs. What if that happened? What if this happened? But he's gone. And there was one good thing about it. There was a awakening with the NBA, and they had a lot of drug awareness, and they had a lot of programs, and they studied that, and they educated young players about the dangers of it. So it was some good came out of it.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like shocking. It was so sad because, like you said, it would have extended the careers of the big three for the Celtics.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Lakers in '87, and then they would have won that series probably because it was a tightly contested series. And I think McHale had played with a broken foot.
Bird's
and
back. Bird's back.
Then it became the Detroit in the '89, '90, and they would have had Len Bias to compete with them. So the Celtics would have probably had another 3 or 4 championships.
Sort of, yeah.
Because they had so many good players, and this guy was going to be probably the top player in the NBA at some point.
Yeah. And then Reggie Lewis, he dies in 1993. He was the pick the following year after Bias in '87, and he died. So he would have been another player to stem the tide too. So a lot of what ifs there,
Yep.
Tom.
True. So, all right. Well, that's all we got for this week. If you like it, give us a check, give us a like, subscribe, and next week we'll talk more World Cup. We'll see if Jaylen Brown is still a Celtic and if I want a breakfast or not. Maybe the Red Sox, they're playing a lot of scrub teams. I mean, they're playing Colorado. I mean, come on, you got to win. And they might be able to string together a few wins here. And
But do you really care?
no, I don't really care.
I didn't think so.
And then we'll probably maybe have some Patriot news. So tune in next week. See you later.